Hello, my name is Anita, and thank you for joining me for my video. I'm here today because I want to share my 14-year experience following a diagnosis of pancreatic cancer. I'm doing this in the hope of maybe helping someone have some calmness, some reassurance if they have to go through the same journey as I have, whether they're going through it now or might be going through some similar illness or maybe in the future. So my journey started when I went for a routine physical to my doctor for work. And I was feeling perfectly fine. I thought perfectly healthy, was active, working, enjoying my family, and had no pain, no symptoms that anything was wrong. At my physical, the doctor felt something in my abdomen, kept listening, and suggested I have an ultrasound done of my abdomen. So certainly I went ahead and I booked that right away, and following the ultrasound, I got a call from the doctor, and the doctor informed me that I had a tumor on my pancreas. My whole world was turned upside down. I was devastated, in total disbelief, and my life, it just flashed before me. After trying to calm, I had to share this terrible news with my husband and my children, and we all were in total disbelief, even my husband and kids. How could this be? But then we had to come to the point where we just had to accept it is what it is and move forward. And that's what we did. The next step was for me to have a biopsy done and then see for sure what kind of tumor it was. And indeed it was a cancerous tumor on the head of my pancreas. So the only way that this was going to be resolved in any way was for me to have what was called a Whipple operation. And it is an extensive and serious operation. After conferring with different doctors and hospitals, that was indeed what had to be done. And we went ahead, we tried to be proactive as possible. What we did was start preparing me for surgery. We had a date that was set. I didn't have to have emergency surgery, so I had time to prepare and get myself in the best possible condition. So what we did first was, actually my daughters and my husband, they helped me with a diet that was very nutritious, that could elevate my immune system as much as possible. And my one daughter put me on an exercise program at home, and so I could keep up my strength and stamina before and after the surgery. And of course there was a lot of anxiety that I had to deal with. So my husband gave me a book called Love, Medicine, and Miracles. It was written by a Dr. Siegel down in Yale New Haven Hospital in Connecticut, and it had to do with exceptional cancer patients, and it involved cases that he had taken care of where oftentimes there was remissions. The prognosis was much and maybe grim, but they made it through many years that were unexpected. I had a lot of emphasis on love, faith, living life, and having hope. So this book was very, very significant part of my getting ready for surgery and my illness. So after we did that, I had to make an appointment with my doctor. I wanted my doctor to know me, Anita, one-on-one, even though we had a consult with the family. When I went on the operating table, I wanted him to know me as a person, my feelings about life, love, family, my diagnosis, and what was to be. And he was so open and considerate and patient. He answered all my questions that I may have had at that time. And I also asked him at that time if I could have music playing during my surgery. I've heard of occasional rare cases where someone may have been under anesthesia and still heard remarks that were said by operating room staff, and I did not want to have that happen. So he was very agreeable. I wanted to have music played, CDs that I compiled music by my, that I wanted, and would be wearing a headphone, and the operating staff would be able to switch the CDs out. And he said, no problem. And I had selected music like Andre Bocelli, Celine Dion, some of my most relaxing music, and some of those were lullabies that I sang to my granddaughter when she was an infant, when I was putting her to bed, and singing or listening to with her. Music that was going to calm me and relax me, music right from the heart. So we managed to have a nice hug at the end of my meeting, and I was very satisfied that he knew who I was. So right before going into surgery, my husband and I, of course, had our talk, and one of the things I remember telling him is to just love our girls with your whole heart and soul, and love family forever. Love of family, I think, is so vitally important for everything we deal with in life. And that's how I went into the operating room, totally relaxed, and felt like I did everything I could to prepare. We never know what we're going to face in the future. So, like I said, love your family with your whole heart and have a lot of faith in God. So, when I woke up from my operation, the first thing I did was thank the Lord for getting me through the surgery. And I felt I was going to give 100% for what I had to face in the time ahead. My daughters and my spouse, they were there in my room waiting for me. When I woke up, they were the first people I saw. And my family was there daily. They were questioning the doctor about my progress, and the nurses, and what I should expect, and what was going to be ahead. My daughter from Boston was 10 minutes away. She would come several times a day. She made sure I ate, got out of bed, and ambulated as much as I could tolerate. And it was very, very little distance initially. There was a lot of pain involved. But less than a week, excuse me, I was discharged from the hospital. And it was decided I'd go to stay at my daughter's apartment in Boston, because it was 10 minutes away. And if there was anything unforeseen that should occur, then I would be close to the doctor. So she helped me again, kept feeding me nutritious foods and ambulating me and helping me build up my stamina day by day, helped me with wound care and so forth. And then after several weeks, I was able to leave there. I noticed my progress week by week, that I was getting stronger and able to do more. And then I went up to my other daughters about an hour out of Boston, and that's where my granddaughter was. And she was very uplifting and helped my spirits a great deal as well. We would sing songs or read books, do sticker books, these sorts of things. And she's just a delight. And my daughter, she made sure I ambulated, got outside, and did my walking every day. And again, week after week, I could see how I could tolerate walking just a little bit further, and was getting a little stronger. And after about 3 weeks, I went back home. My husband and I decided it was time for me to go to Connecticut, he and I, and continue our journey at our home. And that's what we did. And my journey started when I came home. That was going to probably last, I had the rest of my life. I have to monitor my weight. I was between 135 to 140 when I had my surgery done. I am now 100 pounds, and I battle with weight loss and trying to gain weight every day. I have to watch what I eat. My GI system was altered, so there's certain foods I can't tolerate. I am also rendered diabetic, so I have to do blood sugar several times a day. And so you get to what you do, what you have to do. And it's a balance between the carbs to gain with the weight, but then the sugar goes up, and you know, so on and so forth, and then you have to watch the sugar. It's a continuous struggle for me not to lose any more weight. And again, taking the walks and just doing it as often as I possibly can, and not giving up on that to keep my strength and my bones in good order. Now, about several months after my surgery too, my daughter and I went down to Virginia. There was a seminar being held down there, and it was speakers all over the world that were discussing neuroendocrine cancer and pancreatic cancer, speakers from all over the world and all over the country. So we attended one of those seminars, and that's how I found my doctor from Dana-Farber in Boston. He was one of the speakers there, and I introduced myself, and he said yes, he would be willing to accept me as a patient, no problem. And that's who followed me when I went back to Connecticut. I would do visits up to get CAT scans in Boston monthly and then yearly. And to this day, I'm still being followed up at Dana-Farber. If I have any issues or problems, I call them right away, and they get me in and they check me out. So it's still a journey. It's an ongoing journey and always will be. But I want to pass along to you to know your own body. If you're not feeling right, if you feel like something's wrong and you're worried about it and you have concerns, you know your body. And if a doctor doesn't give you the answers you need, go find another source. Go find another doctor. You have to find out what's wrong with you if you know that your body is not what it should be. Ask your doctor questions. Most doctors will be very delighted to answer any questions you may possibly have. And another thing is, if this is very important, I think, to me, is if you've had pancreatic cancer, if you're a pancreatic cancer survivor, if you have had a Whipple operation, or you're a pancreatic cancer survivor, share your experiences with someone. Encouragement is for the Whipple. If you're going to have that done, pre and post, I talked to people, and it was a great comforting and reassuring thing to do. Reassurance does help. But remember, get routine physicals, even if you're feeling well. Keep your faith in God, because faith in God will help you through so much in everything you go through in life. And love helps healing. This was one of the strong things that I also learned from the book, Love, Medicine, and Miracles. Love makes a big difference in our lives. I received a lot of support. I got from extended family as well. My son-in-law was very helpful from the get-go of my diagnosis, and still is today. I did not think I would be making this video 14 years down the line, and here I am, and I hope I get to do it again. But right now, I'm going to take a walk outside, because I haven't done that yet today, and I invite you to come along with me. I'll show you where I go. We have property around my house, so please join me. Get glasses on. Okay, it's a gorgeous day out today. Absolutely beautiful. Okay. So when I go walking, what I do is, it's time for good reflection, to pray, count your blessings, just think about things in life in general, and that's what I do anyway. So anyway, my walk entails going down the right-hand side of my property to the front wall, walking across, and then come up along the pine trees. There's a slope in back of the house that makes it a little bit more challenging, but that's a good thing. And then what I do is I come back around the back of the house there. After I go up that hill, I walk through the cedars, and then I end up back where I started. But I do this over and over again. And you need to do things over and over again too. Don't don't let cancer beat you right away. You need to do things for yourself and be proactive and do things over and over and over again. I want you to beat cancer, not have cancer beat you. I'm blessed with a lot of friends and family, and I hope this video has helped you in some way. Just if I've alleviated anyone's fears going into surgery or whatever, then if I touched anybody in any way, then that will make me happy. I hope I get to visit with you again. I hope you have a blessed day, and again, God bless you and thank you for joining me. Bye-bye.